Hello everyone, this is Martin. You can see me right here in the top left hand corner, and for this week we are going to be looking at the trading opportunities that are coming up from November 27th to December the 1st. So that's this coming week. We're going to look at the opportunities that I'm looking at, and the theme for this week is USD weakness. Last week the US currency was a bit weak, and I expect the weakness to continue as we head into December. And remember, there's also going to be, I believe, an interest rate hike for the US dollar sometime in December. So keep that in mind as well. But for now, US currency is weak, and that means that the other currencies trading against the US dollar have a chance to increase in value. Okay, so let's get right to the charts. Okay, sorry about that. First, before we can get into the charts, we do want to give you my risk disclaimer. This is really super important. All the information in this video is presented to you in an educational manner, and I want you to understand that I'm not giving you actual investment advice. That is up to you whether you take take the information that I'm giving you. And as always, trade with your risk management in place. That means stop losses. Okay, so if you want to, you can always pause the video and take a look at this risk disclaimer in more detail. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. We're going to first start by looking at the charts, and we normally start with the Euro USD. You can see that right here. Now, all the charts that I present to you are in the daily charts, okay? Just keep that in mind. Each candle is 1 day's worth of price movement. Okay, and the other thing I'm showing you, see this red vertical line right there? Okay, and the big arrow. So last week's trading you could see happened after this red vertical line to the right side. So we have 5 days of trading. This is the Friday, Thursday candle, Wednesday candle, Tuesday. This big candle is the combined with the Sunday and Monday. Okay, this broker combines them, so we only have the 5 candles in a trading week. It does not show the Sunday as a separate trading day, and this is the way to go, folks. So all the charting that I use, it closes at the end of the U.S. session, which is 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so Euro USD. Let's take a look. Well, last week we had a really big up move. You can see that started on Wednesday. We broke above the 50 here, and we went up to support to resistance, and then on Friday with this big Friday candle, we actually broke the resistance area here. I believe price is going to go higher to the next resistance area, and if you believe price is going to go higher, then you can buy above 119.40. That's above 119.40 to the upside. Also take a look below here. We have the MACD with the green bars, so there's good momentum to the upside. And this indicator down below, this is our trending indicator. You can see again when we have bars above the 0 level. This is 0, okay? That means that we are in an uptrend, okay, or a bullish market. Okay, next chart. Let's take a look, see what's going on, and British pound. USD right there. Okay, same thing as the euro. Last week we had a nice uptrending market. You can see on Wednesday we had a nice bullish candle. Thursday was kind of a rest. I mean, after a big day on Wednesday, then Thursday was kind of a rest day, and we continued the upward momentum on Friday. So I expect price to go higher. Just like the euro, you can look at buys above 133.55. Okay, and again, we're in a bullish market. So again, you can see up here is the next resistance zone. So that would be the target price. Eventually could make it up to here. Okay. Now, next one, we're gonna go to the Australian USD. Okay, here we go. Australian USD daily chart again. You can see we've had a pretty good extended downward movement. You can see that right here. Last week we had a pullback. Okay, so after a downward movement, this is called a pullback or retracement. So price ended up with this Wednesday candle right there. You can see ended up above the 8 EMA, and then it bounced down just came down just a bit on Friday. So I think price is actually going to go higher. This is what I'm thinking. And if you think the same way, then you could look at buys above 0.7635. So I don't think the retracement's finished. You can see this area right here. That's the 200 SMA, and so I believe price could go all the way there. Okay, so if you believe price is going to go lower, then you could look at sells below 0.7588. Again, look at the next couple of days after the markets open. This is the 8 EMA right there. Just look to see if this holds as support. Like I said, I believe price could go higher, but again, now if price breaks below here, then price most likely will go down further. Okay, so let's move on to the next chart. Okay, you can see here gold. This is the gold daily, gold against the US. Right? Yep. So gold against the USD, and you can see here we've been kind of grinding slowly up. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, grinding slowly higher. But again, right now we are in a sideways market, so you have to wait for more evidence. Look above this area. So if price breaks this trend line, most likely will go higher. Again, price right now is stuck just above the 50 SMA. Okay, so again, wait for more evidence. Okay, same with the New Zealand USD. Over the last couple of weeks, price has come down. You can see that right here. In a bearish market, now we have a pullback again. Price pulls back. Okay, and by the way, price goes above this area, take a look to the left, then you can certainly say that price is in a bullish market. But right now, we're in a bearish market still. It's just in the pullback phase, and I believe that price, if the 8 EMA holds, this is the 8 EMA, if this holds, price could certainly go higher. If you believe the same way, then you could be looking at buys above 0.6912, okay? And if you believe price is going to go lower, price would have to come down all the way down to this level right here for me to take interest. So I would be looking at sells below 0.6786 to the downside, okay? Okay, here we have the USDCAD, okay, and you can see basically price is just going sideways. Right now, price is stuck. Take a look between the resistance, which is this gray rectangle, and you see this blue heavy, with this blue dashed line. That's the 100 right there. So it's kind of stuck right there. And take a look at the last two candles last week. We had basically two dojis. So sideways market, you need more evidence. And if you believe price is going to go higher, then you would be looking at buys above 128.42. If you believe price is going to go lower, then you would be looking at sells below 126.66. Now, the Canadian dollar is tied into oil. Oil has been on a tear. It's been doing really good, rising in price, and we'll take a look at that chart next. But because oil has risen in price, the Canadian dollar did not really follow in suit, which leads me to believe that Canadian dollar is still a bit weak. The US dollar is weak, and that's why we have kind of an equalness here for a sideways chart. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, this is oil. This is the daily chart for the oil. And you can see last week, I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 good bullish candles to the upside. I believe there's further upside movement. And take a look at this long-term resistance area right here. So that would be the target, the eventual target around the $60 range, maybe even higher. Okay, so I believe it's going to go higher, and also want you to take a look at one thing. This is the daily chart, but I'm going to switch this to the weekly. Okay, and can you see that there? So this is a bullish weekly bullish engulfing candle. It completely engulfs the previous candle, and even though it sits at the 200 here on the weekly chart, the bullish candle for me indicates further upside movement. It's a very strong signal, especially on the weekly chart. So we can expect, I believe, price to go a little bit higher. Let's go back to the daily, and there it is. So you know, that's what I'm thinking. It's just going to go higher. Bullish market for oil. Okay. Okay, this is the U.S. Swiss franc daily, and now we get into the charts. Instead of rising in price, price is coming down. The USD is the first currency in the pair, okay? And so remember what I said, the theme for this week, there is some USD weakness. I expect this weakness to continue for a bit. And that's giving a chance for the other currencies trading against US to rise in value. So the US is weak, and the Swiss franc is strong. Okay, it's the opposite. So here I see that price, I believe, will come down lower, then probably bounce up and maybe go sideways. But for here, I believe price will go down a bit lower. And take a look down below. We have the MACD, the red bars below zero, pushing against the blue line. So that is downward, strong downward momentum. And take a look here as well. We now have a red bar that's closed below zero. Here's the zero level, okay? And that's indicating that the shift to the downtrend perhaps is increasing and going to continue. Okay, so if you believe price is going to come down lower, you could look at sells below 0.9778. Okay, now for the next chart. Okay, here we have the USD Japanese yen, just like the other chart that we just looked at, US Swiss franc. USD is the first name in the currency pair, so USD weakness means Japanese strength. And you can see with this Wednesday candle, this was Wednesday of last week, it was a huge bearish candle. Now, the big tip is normally after you see a huge candle, which is, when I say huge, look back to the past. Do you see the daily range of this black bearish candle? Do you see how much larger it is to the previous candles? Okay. And when you see that, there's usually a pullback. So we have a pullback now. This is the 200. You can see the red dash line, right? Okay. And it's also, I've drawn in the resistance zone for you. So price broke here. Is coming up now. This is new resistance. I expect price to actually come down further. Okay. Like in other words, it may go up a bit, but then bounce right down. And if you believe price is going to come down lower, you could look at sells below 110.96. Okay, so I have a bearish sentiment on this one. Again, take a look down here. Red bars on the trending indicator. Red bars indicating downtrend or bearish market, and here again the blue MACD is below the zero. Okay, so now we get to the next pair, which is the Euro British pound. Okay, so what can we say about this one? Well, basically, even though we had a couple of days of up movement, taking a look here at the MACD, it's kind of just sitting right at the zero. You can see that right there. The trending indicator, you can see that the bars are really tiny, tiny, tiny. It's giving me the information that we are in a sideways market, so you really kind of have to wait for more information. But if you believe price is going to go higher, then you could buy above 0.8963 to the upside. Now, the next chart is the Euro Japanese yen. And last week, again, take a look here. I just want to take a look at something. Let's go to the weekly. Okay, see this bullish candle right there? This is the weekly chart. So this is a weekly bullish candle again, completely engulfs the previous candle and remains above the 8. So I believe there's going to be further upside movement. Here's the next target zone right here, which is the resistance. I've drawn that in for you. So from here, you could, I'm thinking price is going to go higher. Again, you could look at buys above 133.33. Now, note one more thing. We have been in a very long, extended sideways market, right? So completely sideways, up, down, up, down, up, down, and I expect the same thing to continue. History often repeats itself. Okay, so that's what I see there. Buy above 133.33 if you think price is going to go higher. Now we get to the next chart, and that's the Euro Audi. Okay, look at this one. Now, Euro last week was the strongest individual currency. So that most likely will continue this week, but take a look at this big candle. Now, usually after a huge candle, we could have a bit of a retracement. So it did break the resistance here. If you believe price is going to go higher, then you could look at buys above 157.03. If you believe price is actually going to turn all the way over to the other side, then you could look at sells below 155.15. I have the next area up here and take my crosshair tool. So if price goes higher up to this, most likely up to this area, could go up to the 15800 level. So it's still got lots of room to move higher. Okay, so that's what I see with the Euro Audi. The Audi, in comparison, was one of the weaker currencies last week. So we have strength in the Euro, weakness in the Audi. Okay, and our final pair is the British Pound, Japanese Yen. Again, take a look. We're kind of in a ranging pattern. It's sideways here, but more important, I always look at the indicators below as confirmation filters, and they give me more information all the way. Take a look at this. The blue MACD line is right on top of the red line, right on top of the 0. Pretty well a great indication of a sideways market. So this market not going anywhere. The bulls are not winning, and the bears are not winning. Good fight going on between the buyers and the sellers, and we'll see what happens. But if you believe price is going to go higher, then you want to look at possible buys above 149.14. If you believe price from here, it closed on Friday, closed just slightly above the 8 or right at the 8. So if you believe from here price is going to come down, short term, you could look at sells below 148.11 to the downside. Okay, but right now it's sideways. You just want to wait for more evidence. Okay, so let's take that off the charts. And that is really it for this week's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned a couple of things. For more information on my courses or help, please give me, my name is Martin, send me an email letting me know how I can help you. It's mskyj007@gmail.com. Take care. Happy trading. Bye for now.